Hi, I'm Maria and this is Seren, and we're going to take you through a family yoga class today. When we're doing family yoga, it's really about doing yoga for the children, but the grown-ups can join in as well. And what's really important in a yoga class is that if anything doesn't feel right in your body, that you stop doing it or you do a different version. So if something doesn't feel right, if a bit of you is hurting, then try something else. Don't just keep pushing through and trying to make it any better. So we thought that we would go on a bit of a yoga adventure today because it's been months of lockdown. We can't always travel to places that we want to go to. So we thought this morning at the Active Decorum Hub in Hemel Hempstead, we were going to go for an adventure in our imagination, aren't we? And one of the first things we thought we'd do was go on an aeroplane. We haven't been on an aeroplane in ages, have we? Okay, so what we're going to do to start with is go for a little drive to the airport. Now, you don't have to have a yoga mat when you're doing this yoga class, but it does help for sort of gripping to it. But just if you've got lots of space around you, then that should be absolutely fine. But we're going to go on our yoga mat, so let's get ourselves sitting. Are you going to sit at the back of yours? So we're going to have a little rock on our sitting bones. If you sit on your hands, you can feel two bony sitting bones there. And when they're both on the floor, it means that you're sitting in a nice level way. And then if you imagine that at the top of your head, there's a string going up towards the ceiling or the sky in our case, then you're sitting up nice and tall. You can let your shoulders relax down your back, and we're going to shuffle forward. So we ready to start the car? Okay, let's start the car and let's drive to the airport. Okay, it's a very short drive to this airport. We're here already and we're going to reverse into a car parking space. So let's change into reverse and go back. Oh, and we're not going to bother with all that boring stuff about checking in and everything. We're going to get straight on our aeroplane. So let's get onto our feet. When we do any standing poses in a yoga class, we want to make sure that our feet are really nicely stuck to the floor. It's really hard to do any standing or balancing poses if you're on your tiptoes. So we could just go up onto our tiptoes a minute, and then when we put our heels back down, give your feet a little wriggle sideways and really feel how your feet are connected with the ground. And this is going to help us because we're going to do a balance now. So we're going to take a step forwards, take our arms wide. These are our aeroplane wings, and then look at something ahead of you. And as you tip forwards, it should help you balance. So this is us on our aeroplane ride. I don't know if you can keep your balance while you're wobbling. Well, I can't. And now what we need to do now, if you step back again, we're going to swap legs, because everything we do in a yoga class, if we do it on one side, we have to do it again on the other. So should we step forward with our other leg, take our arms wide, take a step forward, look at something that won't move. Now you might find you've got one side that is more wobbly than the other. Sorry, I hit you on the head there. Whee! And let's step back again. Oh, right. But I sometimes get bored on aeroplane rides, so I think we might parachute out of this aeroplane. What do you think? Have you got your parachute on your back? Let's put our parachutes on. Okay, so we're going to jump out of this aeroplane and we're going to do some free fall. So let's move around here so everyone can see what we're going to do. So we've got our feet nicely planted on the side of the aeroplane. We're going to jump forwards, walk your hands forwards, and we're going to come down onto our tummies and then lift up with our arms out wide. So it's just like we're free falling. Should we hold hands with each other? Sometimes you get people free falling and they hold hands with each other and they make circles. Right, now I think we should open our parachutes. Do you? Yeah, okay. So what we're going to do, this is a bit of a challenge. We're going to come up. This pose is called downward facing dog, and we're going to put one foot on the side of a leg and see if we can walk our hands back and wobble up into tree pose. And hopefully, is your parachute opened? Should we check? Have a look. What colour's your parachute? Blue and red, and mine's blue and yellow, so similar colours. Right, because we're standing on one leg, we need to swap over and stand on the other, don't we? So should we swap over? So we're balancing on the other leg now. This might be your wobbly leg, or this might be your less wobbly leg. Have a look at something that won't move if you're feeling wobbly. And now we better land, hadn't we? So we're going to put both feet down and bend our knees, so that helps us land. Right, now just having a little look around. I'm not quite sure where we've landed. Can you see any animals? Yeah, I think I can see elephants over there. Shall we be elephants? So if we take our feet wide And what we're going to do is use our arms to be the elephant's trunk and have a little stretch up with the elephant's trunk and then fold forwards, and imagine you're using your elephant's trunk to suck water up, and then we're going to lift it up and spray it all over our backs like elephants do. Should we have another go? Now if it hurts your back you can bend your knees a bit, so let's suck some water up and then spray it all over our backs. Lovely. Right, any more animals that you can see? I think I can see giraffes. I'm wondering if we've landed in Africa on the savannah. So to be a giraffe, this is a balance. So look at something that won't move. We're going to stand on one foot, hold on to the ankle of the other, and then reach in the air. So this is your giraffe neck. And because we're doing one side, we're going to swap over and have a go on the other. So if you find yourself hopping, just put the foot down, make your foot that you're standing on really heavy. Oh, so I'm having a wobble, and then just slowly go into it. Balances are much easier if you do it slowly. Right, that's a giraffe. Anything else we can see? I'm pretty sure we're in Africa because I can see African hunting dogs. So we're going to do downward facing dog. So let's get on our hands and knees and then tuck your toes under, and we're going to take our bottoms back towards our heels and then lift up in the air, and you can wag your dog's tail. And we can also do what dogs do, which is they lift one leg up to do a wee, the boy dogs do. So we're going to lift one leg up and then lower it back down. We better have a go on the other side. And back down again. And let's just bend the knees, walk the hands back so that we can come up to standing again. And I don't like the look of that animal there. I think that's a lion, do you? So we're going to do lion pose. So if you kneel with your hands in front of you, lion pose is not just about what position your body's in, it's about the way that you breathe, and it's what you do with your face. So we need big eyes and a big mouth, and we're going to take a breath in, and as we breathe out we're going to go and if you do it to each other it's quite scary. Should we do it to each other? So we'll take a breath in. You look quite terrifying. Let's do it again. So we'll take a breath in. So I don't think we want to stay around here, but luckily I did pack a magic carpet, so we're going to go on a magic carpet. Do you want to come and sit on my magic carpet over here? We're going to share our magic carpet. So let's get on the magic carpet. Imagine it's lifting up, and we're going to go to the right. Woohoo! And we're going to go to the left. And we're going to go forwards. And we're going to go back. And we're going to roll off. Let's roll this way. Ah! Oh dear. So where do you think we've landed now? What can you see? I'm thinking, oh, I can definitely see pyramids. I think we've landed in Egypt. So let's be pyramids. So to be pyramids, we're going to do a pose called triangle pose. And we need to start with our legs wide. So we turn one set of toes outwards and the other set slightly in. And then we'll put one hand on the hip. We're going to reach over the toes that we've turned out. Keep the other shoulder up towards the sky. And then when you tip over and reach your top arm up towards the sky, we've made lots of triangles with our body. And then if you push into your front foot, you can come back up again. Then we'll swivel our feet round. So now it's the other set of toes are pointing out and this set of toes pointing in. And then we'll reach out, tip over, and then reach up towards the sky. So those are our pyramids. So push into that front foot and we'll come back up again. And another famous thing that you see in Egypt is the Sphinx. So we're going to do Sphinx pose. If we get down on our tummies, actually let's face this way. So if we get down on our tummies and have our elbows under our shoulders, now it's possible to do this wrong. If you're sort of in watching television pose, this is not a yoga pose. We want to roll the shoulders down the back. So keep the back of your neck long as well. And it's much more active than just slumping and watching the telly. So this is Sphinx pose, and as it's been pointed out to me, the Sphinx doesn't have a nose, so we kind of need to squash our noses in as well, or maybe just sort of go like this so that we flatten our noses slightly. So we've seen the Sphinx, and there's an animal that we see in Egypt. Oh, there's a couple actually. I think the first one we're going to do is a cobra. This is cobra pose. It's quite similar to Sphinx. You put your hands under your shoulders and then lift up. Now don't lift too far. If you're straightening your elbows, then you've gone too far. And also, if you lift your hands up, you shouldn't fall down too far. So this is the right position for Cobra Pose. And what we can do now is hiss. So should we have a little hiss? Hiss. Okay, now we're going to come up to kneeling. So another animal that you see in Egypt is the camel, and Seren is much better at camel pose than I am. So Seren can easily do back bends, so she can reach back and hold on to her heels really easily without her legs going too far back. Do you like taking your head back in this position as well? So she takes her head back. Now what she's going to do is leave her head back as her body comes up, because if your head is back and you strain these muscles to lift it up while your body's still back, then you can hurt your neck. So if you do what Seren just did, that's absolutely perfect. Now, I don't like holding onto my heels. If I hold my heels, I end up leaning backwards. So I'm just going to put my hands on my hips, and I can also take my head back, but I'm going to do exactly what Seren did and bring my body up, and then my head comes back at the last minute. So that's a nicer way of doing camel pose if you don't want to hold on to your heels. You might find that the children like holding their heels and the grown-ups like putting their hands on their hips, and that's absolutely fine. And we're going to do a partner version of this. So if we kneel opposite each other, so we're going to glue our legs together here and then take our heads back, and it's a lovely back bend. And then when you bring your bodies up, your head is the last thing to flop back into place. Thank you very much for that. Oh, I think we've seen enough of Egypt, do you? We're going to get in a boat now. The Red Sea's just over there, so we're going to get into a boat on the Red Sea, and I'm going to show you different versions of boat pose. So remember those sitting bones we talked about at the start? If you make sure you're on both those sitting bones and then lean back a bit and put your hands under your knees, and we're coming into a balance and we're balancing on our sitting bones. Oh, so if this is too easy for you, you can try straightening one leg, straightening the other leg, straightening both legs, and you can try letting go as well. Now, what might happen is that you might roll backwards. Do you want to show how you roll backwards? And it's okay if you roll backwards. It's quite nice to roll backwards and forwards in boat pose. And boat pose is also good fun as a partner pose, isn't it? So what we're going to do is, that's it, you move back a bit. So you need to sit so that your feet are touching each other, and then we're going to hold hands. Which leg should we straighten first? This one? Okay, so we'll straighten that leg and that one. There we go. And we can, hello! So we're going to float off. Oh, this is nice, isn't it? We'll just have a little rock from side to side. Lovely. Oh no, I think our boat has sunk. Okay, right. Well, that's okay if our boat sinks, because I can see a surfboard over there. I think we have managed to float all the way down the Indian Ocean, and we're near Australia. So should we do some surfing? Right, we're going to stand up to do some surfing. Okay, we'll take our feet nice and wide. And then we're going to have our feet positioned exactly the same as when we were being pyramids. So we turn one set of toes out and the other in, and then you bend this leg and raise your arms, and we're going to surf forwards and backwards. And shall we swap sides? So I'm going to, oh, you've jumped all the way around. I'm just changing my foot position, so we're going to have a little surf there. And we can do this together as well, can't we? So we're going to start doing tricks on our surfboards because we like showing off. So we're going to put our inside foot together and then turn the outside foot out, and we need to hold on to our arms, and then you can kind of lean on each other. Should we go that way? I'll go that way. Lovely. And because we've done it one side, we need to swap over and do it the other. So should we have a swap? We're not going to try and jump here, are we? So let's put our inside foot together. That's it. And then turn the outside one out. Now, if I let go of Seren, she won't fall. Sometimes when children do this, they lean on their grown-ups so much. So just see, if you let go, that's it. Make sure your child is standing on their own feet, otherwise you just get dragged over. Right, I think we can do some more tricks on our surfboards, do you? Right, so we're going to do a balance. We're going to stand on one leg. This pose is actually called Warrior 3. So we're going to step forwards with one foot, raise our arms in the air and start to tip forward. So stretch your fingers out in front, look at something that won't move and push your back heel away, and then we'll bend the standing leg, come up to standing again, and we better do the, oh, all right, you can jump if you like, and I'm going to do it slowly. Oh, lovely balancing. And we can do this together as a two as well, can't we? Should we do that? So let's hold on to each other's hands. Now, it's really important, again, that your child is standing on their feet and not leaning on you and pulling you over. So if they've got nice heavy feet, then we'll take one leg back. Doesn't matter which one, but you might find if you, if you both do the same, so we're both doing our right foot in the air, it's a bit more stable, and then we'll swap over and have another go on the other side. That's it, lovely. Okay, and then let's bend the standing leg, come back up again. I reckon we can do one more trick. Okay, so let's face this way, shall we? So it's another balance. We've got our feet nice and heavy on the ground. Let's lift one leg up. This starts off a bit like when we were being giraffe. So we're going to hold on to one foot, reach up in the air, and this time we're going to tip forwards and take the foot out behind. So it's a bit of a back bend, and then come back up. And then we can swap over. You like hopping from one side to the other, don't you? And we'll have a go on the other. Okay, so let's see if we can do this as a partner pose. You want to face me? So which leg are you going to do first? Which are you going to stand on? You're going to stand on your right leg, so we'll hold on to our left foot, and then as we come forwards, we can link arms with each other. Is that all right? Yeah, lovely. Okay, and then on the other side. So we're going to stand on our left leg. Oh, I'm having a wobble here. That's it, fantastic, well done. Oh gosh, I think that's enough of surfing. Shall we go to the shore? Right, so what animals have we got in Australia? We've got a really obvious one. We've got two really obvious ones, haven't we? So we're going to be kangaroos first. So first of all, if you stand with your legs wide and your toes can face outwards and bend the knees, and we're just going to come into a bit of a squat here, and then just start to get a feeling of being a bit bouncy, and then you can start bouncing. It's going to bounce like kangaroos. Okay, and now this is really good for you. Love this, look at that face. So grown-ups, hold your child's hand, and then you can just lifting their hands in the air, it feels like you're going higher, doesn't it? Okay, should we do that again? Woohoo! Should we do one more? Okay, do you want to see if you can make me lift higher? Okay, ready? Hey! So you'll notice Seren keeps her feet on the ground, but it really feels like she's making me lift up higher. Thank you very much. What's that? I don't think if we jump together it doesn't work as well, does it? But it's still good fun though. There we go. Thank you. Right, so that's kangaroos. I'm out of breath now. Now we're going to be koalas. Now koalas like hugging trees. We're just going to hug ourselves. So what I'd like you to do is, if you get your feet nice and heavy on the ground, we're going to take the weight into one foot and bend that knee, and then the other foot crosses all the way over. So you might find you can tuck your toes all the way behind. And now we're going to twist our arms together. So you can either just hug your own shoulders, or if you can reach your shoulders easily, try bringing the backs of your hands together and then twisting round. And it's always easier to balance if you look at something that won't move, but you'll have to look past your hands. So this is our koala pose, and because we've twisted in one direction, we have to twist all the way again in the other. So we'll take the weight into the other foot and then bend the knee, cross over, and now you've got to remember which arm you had on top before. I'm just losing it now, so if you do lose it, you can just put the other foot down and then twist the arm the other way. Okay, so that's our koala pose on our own, and we've got a partner koala pose, haven't we? We're going to stand back to back. So if you stand back to back with me here, and we've got to decide which leg we're standing on, and it's got to be on the same side. So which leg? Yeah, we're going to link arms. Which leg are you going to stand on, Seren? You're going to stand on your your right leg, so I've got to stand on my left, and then we're going to lift the other leg up, cross it over, and then try and find each other's feet. And try not to look at your feet. So look at something that, I've lost it. Look at something that won't move. There we go, and then we can balance. So that's our partner koala pose. Should we swap over? Are you there? Hooray! Lovely, hooray! Oh, right, I think we've had enough of Australia, do you? I think it's time we went home. So we're going to fly on our magic carpet to go home, and you've got a choice how you want to be for this. You can either sit back to back, so shall we try sitting back to back? And this is quite nice because when you sit back to back, you can feel each other breathing. So that's one option you've got. Another one is, we call it nest, don't we? So I sit like a nest. If you put the soles of your feet together and your knees wide, you can make a nest for your child to go in. So this is quite a nice way, isn't it? So you can do a bit of relaxation like this, or you can lie with your child's head on your tummy. And what's quite fun about this is if there's lots of you, then you can kind of make a staircase. So everybody's got their head on someone else's tummy. So shall we show how to do that? So I'm going to lie this way. And then you put your head here. And if there were more people, someone could put their head on Seren's tummy. And then Seren can feel my tummy going up and down as I breathe. So if Seren lies with her head on my tummy, if there are more of you, you could have someone lying on another person's tummy, and then it looks like a staircase. And what's lovely is that when we're at our most relaxed, our tummies go up and down when we breathe. So you can feel each other breathing in a really nice relaxed way. So you choose how you'd like to be, what makes you feel the most relaxed, and we're going to imagine that we're floating on our magic carpet and we're going to go back home again. And however you're lying, just keep your breathing nice and relaxed. So you might have noticed if you're ever worried about something, you breathe and you use your shoulders and it's all very shallow. But when you're relaxed, it's right down deep in your tummy. So however you are, just take your breath right into your tummy and breathe as slowly as you can, as long as it feels comfortable. And I'd like you to really feel how the ground is holding you up, how your mat is holding you up. And then imagine that your mat is lifting up and it's taking you with it. And you're floating up higher. And Australia's in winter at the moment, so maybe it's a bit cloudy in the sky and you're floating up towards the clouds. And when you get to the clouds, it feels a little bit damp and it makes your skin tingle. You can feel it on your face, on your hands. When you get above the clouds, the sky is brilliant blue. You can feel hot sunshine. And we're going to float halfway around the world. And maybe we're going away from the sunshine. So when it's daytime in Australia, it's nighttime in the UK. So imagine you're floating away from the sun and it's getting a bit darker. But when you get to the UK, it's a bit cloudy, but through the gaps in the clouds, you can see lights down below. And you're going to float downwards now through the gap in the clouds towards these lights. So if you're looking over the edge of your mat, maybe you start to recognise your own home there, or wherever it is that you've been doing yoga today. And your mat floats gently down to the ground, and now you can feel the ground holding you up again. So if you just stay there for a short while, just quietly, and if you start to think of other things, just think about your breathing, just following your breath, letting your tummy go in and out. And now give your fingers and toes a little wriggle and have a stretch out. Open your eyes. If you've been lying down, you might have to talk to the people whose tummies you've been lying down on about sitting back up again. And then we're going to come to sitting. Going to have a little shuffle on our sitting bones, and then have your hands down by your side, and we're going to take 3 breaths just to wake ourselves up again. So we're going to breathe in and reach our hands upwards to the sky or the ceiling, wherever you are, and as you breathe out, bring your hands down to your heart center, and we're going to do that twice more. And we always finish a yoga class with a word which is namaste, and it's a Sanskrit word. It's used in lots of other languages as well. It can mean hello and goodbye. It can be used as a greeting. And when we use it in a yoga practice, what we're saying is we're all connected, we've all shared something together, and we're honouring each other. So we say namaste to each other. So I'd like to say that to you now. So if we bring our hands together, we're going to bow and say namaste. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed that. and have a nice rest of your day. Thank you.